Oh, summer 2025 was amazing. I hope you loved it. I hope you made great childhood memories. And now we are ready for another big transition in our lives and in our kids' lives. They're going back to school. And this is an important episode because if you're listening to this, it means you're a really intentional parent. You want to be the best parent you can.
Yeah.
You don't just like minimize, big events in your kids' lives. And going back to school, I mean, we're going to talk about this. This is like a legit intense thing for kids and families, man.
100%, dude, totally. And the thing about it is I was thinking come Christmas time, we're getting ready for Christmas, I'm super excited. And then you've got the first of the year, New Year's resolutions, we're going to be better people, we're going to do this and that, and it's always exciting. And then it's the end of school, and it's summer's here, oh my gosh, we got summer break. And then you get to this time of year, and I don't know how to feel. I don't know if I'm excited, I'm nervous, I know I'm going to have homework soon. Am I going to like my teachers? I got to go back into this place where I got to play drama and figure out how to dissect what they're saying about me. And so this time of year, I'm so uneasy as a parent and as a student,
I'm actually pretty uneasy as a parent because I don't know, are my kids gonna be accepted back in that same friend group? Or are they going to do well? And I don't want to be super scary or negative. I don't like that. But if you look on the research for when high school kids start doing drugs, it's very, very clear that the time when someone starts maybe experimenting or doing drugs or dangerous behaviors are during big transitions. And so it could be a big move, a divorce, it could be a breakup, or it could be a back to school. This is so painful. So I don't mean to be scary or negative because today it's going to be an upbeat, fun, helpful education episode here. Here's what we got. I got 5 do's and don'ts for back to school 2025. And before we start, Jordan, I got a little quiz that I want to give you and everyone listening. You ready for this? So I did some research and I found out for our kids and teenagers, what is the most stressful, hardest part of back to school? And I got the top 5 results. So I want to ask you, imagine yourself going back to when you were, in 4th grade or when you were in 10th grade. Go back to a time in your prequel and then ask yourself, of these 5 things, what was the most stressful for you? And I'd love to hear your answer. Are you ready?
I'm ready. So for me, it was how am I going to find...
I'm going to... Okay.
I'm just saying what is on my mind.
Oh, you don't want to hear my top 5? First, I was going to read them to you.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you wanted me to say what mine were, because I'm I can tell you right now, it brings me anxiety just thinking about it.
Well, here, okay, so you already have your answer. Well, I'm going to read you the top 5 based on what research tells you first.
Okay.
Is that okay?
All right, yeah,
here we
see
go.
if it's on there.
Okay, number 1, hardest thing for our kids, and this is no particular order.
Okay.
Shouldn't come as any surprise. Obviously, the social pressure and fitting in.
Yes,
and of course, as they get older, this just intensifies. They're thinking, hey, will I have any friends? Will people like me?
Yeah.
Are my friends still going to like me? Who am I going to sit with? It's this stress talking about what they're going to wear, talking about, their social hierarchy, where they're going to eat lunch. Did you know that I've been working with kids since you were a kid, and one of the most stressful parts of a child's life is where are they going to eat lunch?
That was on my list. That's what I was just going to say.
Really?
There were 2 things that are on my list. Yeah. Can I find my classes if, let's say you're a freshman going to the high school for the first time. I've never done this class switching thing this many times. Am I going to find my classes? Am I going to get there on time? And then where am I going to eat lunch? Who am I going to sit with? Because that's so awkward, right? You want to just find a group, but you're which group am I supposed to eat with?
I've had numerous teenagers, especially girls, tell me the least favorite part of their day is lunchtime because they're just wondering who is looking at me, or do I have food on my teeth? Do I have food on my shirt? Do I look fat right now? Am I embarrassing myself? Who's it's just this.
Well, if you think about it too, Sean,
intensity.
Most of the day of school is scheduled and it's programmed, but there's 30 minutes there of lunch where it's it's now up to me. Usually I got a teacher saying I got to go here, the bell saying I have to sit here at this time, I got to do this work right now, and then it goes to lunchtime, and now I have to make decisions. That can be stressful.
Right. Here's a great parenting tip. I've been using this with teenagers, for so many years. Or for children too. Ask them, who did you sit with today at lunch? and get to know who their friends are, find out who they're sitting with, and you can learn a lot about somebody based on who they're sitting with. Okay, number 2,
that's good.
Most stressful part for kids back to school is their academic performance anxiety. Like, hey, what if I fall behind? Or what if, I'm not as, like, able to keep up, or I look stupid on my first couple days. Like, fear of disappointing. Am I ready for an AP class? Or
what if the teacher calls on me?
Oh, my gosh, right. What if they don't like me? My teacher last year picked on me. What about this year? Stressful.
Yeah. Very stressful. Okay. I can remember every one of us has one of those teachers that would always call on you randomly. So I just knew I had to be paying attention.
I'm going to be visiting my nephew, Cooper McCauley, up in Washington State in a few days.
Dude, Macaulay's brother?
What? Macaulay's what?
I said Macaulay. You said Cooper McCauley.
Yeah. What?
Is that his name? I was thinking
Cooper McCauley.
Okay. I was like, Macaulay, oh my gosh, it's a Macaulay. That's good.
Oh, yeah. And also my other nephew, Spencer McCauley. And
nice.
I think of Cooper, I wonder if this boy is very much into routines.
Okay.
And he's a very hard worker. I wonder if he were to answer our little survey, number 3 would be his answer. The hardest part for some kids is new routines and traditions. Like, I don't know where to go. I'm going to mess something up. My new teacher, my new classroom. This is like so stressful for me, all this stuff.
Or what if you're starting a new sport? That could be, you've never played it before. All these other kids have maybe been playing since they were really young, and you're just jumping into a new sport because you don't want to do PE, but the school gives you a choice to do a sport, so you're trying this, and then that again brings up anxiety. What if I look foolish? What if I don't catch the ball? What if I don't hit the ball?
Oh, what about your new city, new kid, no friends?
School. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
terrible.
And then and then what's happening? Thank God, we're moving out of this. But I've heard stories for 15 years from kids who they say, hey, I went to a new school and no one talked to me because everyone was on their
phones. That is ridiculous. And that is something that I can't connect with because we never really had that problem.
Mm-hmm. My own daughter said that to me. She went to a new school. She was for sophomore year. And she's like, no one's trying to talk to me. And everyone's on their phone and in their clicks. I'm like, okay. Number 4, hard part about back to school is just what we talked about. It's fear of embarrassment or being judged. What if I say something dumb? What if people laugh at me? I was so self-conscious when I was a kid. Oh my gosh, I was so in my head and I was so afraid of people judging me.
Me too. Yeah. And I'm just thinking as a parent, like our job is to like give our kids confidence, but like how the heck are we supposed to compete with the feeling you get at school when you could have confidence at home and the moment you step on campus, it is like you are the littlest person on that campus.
Mm-hmm. The littlest.
That's hard.
I used to be very intimidated by when I was in high school, upperclassmen. I was like super scared of them. Super scared. How about this? I used to think when I was much younger and I didn't know much about child psychology, I would think like when you drop a kid off at daycare or school or church, Bible, like Sunday school, and the kid starts crying and crying for their mommy or daddy, that was a troubled child. Like, what's wrong with that child? Now, through research, I know that there's nothing wrong with that. It actually could be a good sign of attachment. The child says like, hey, I trust you, you're my person, and you just drop me off with a bunch of strangers. I'm not feeling good about this.
Right.
So, but that same thing, whether it be that kindergarten, that same thing can happen with an 8th grader. So the number 5 thing of stressful things for kids on back to school is separation anxiety. It's like I'm separated from my family right now or my safe people, and no one's here for me. I'm all alone, and I'm feeling like unseen. I'm feeling unheard, and I may not have a temper tantrum like I'm 7 years old, but, I'm 16, and I'm not feeling good about that.
Yeah, and the hard part, too, is like before, it was just like, well, I don't care. See you later. And then as a parent, you drive off because, like, you got to go to school, right? But now it's like, are we supposed to address this concern? Like, we've all had this feeling. It's not like these kids are experiencing something new. It's the same feelings we have, but you just, you pull up your britches and you take the next step and you go, right? And then the day's over, and then before you know it, the year's over.
What a great transition into the do's and don'ts, because I've got 5 do's and I got 5 don'ts for you. And you just actually talked about the first don't. It's something that a lot of us maybe grew up on. The first don't is, don't minimize this. Don't say this isn't a big deal. Drive off. Be like, hey, peace out, losers. Have a good one in 4th grade. But instead you want to acknowledge, like, here's the first do. You want to acknowledge that this is an emotional event and give space to your kid to talk, to whine, to be scared, and check in with them. Hey, are you ready? How you feeling about going about? Like, really look into your child's inner life. That sounds like pretty good, basic, normal parenting advice, doesn't it, man?
I mean, if you want to be a serious, caring parent, but what if I had kids because I want to pick on my kids? I want to make fun of them. I want to laugh at them when they scrape their knee and are crying, right? There are those parents, too, that are just like, Johnny, go over there and get me the, and like, oh, look at this little
Johnny.
kid. Remember when we did that? Remember when we did that as kids? That's hilarious. Because there is that sense, too, of like having fun with our kids and parenting. But I think for us, we've already gone through it. And for them, they're getting belittled. They're not feeling the comfort from the parents. So I get where you're coming from.
I don't think those parents listen to this podcast, dog. The parents that are like, hey, what are you?
No, of course they don't.
Enough. You've been in the car for 10 seconds. Suck it up. Get out of this. You got to go to fourth grade. Everyone's got to go to fourth grade.
Everyone got to do it. Right.
And
I did it. Your mom did it.
Right. Like, hey, they're going to fourth grade. Give them 30 seconds. Give them 120 seconds. Just do the check-in. Say, hey, I know this is hard. Yeah. And this is why I think one of the best things to remember as a parent is this little phrase. Say this to yourself. I'm my child's person. The world is going to eat this kid up. No one cares about your kid. I'm sorry, they just don't. No one cares about your kid's feelings except for you. You're the one or two persons. Maybe they have a grandparent or a really nice older sibling that's going to let your kid feel their feelings. And that's why, these emotional check-ins, this is what good, loving parents do. Can I continue? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a question, too. I'm just thinking of, like, the stress that you brought up earlier of always being intimidated by the older kids. Yeah. Right? Like, if you're a freshman, you're a little scared of the sophomores. You're definitely scared of the juniors and the seniors. They won't even talk to you. Like, you don't even have a chance. But, like, for me, one of the ways that bridged that gap was having campus life or an organization. So sometimes when you're mentoring these kids, do you ever tell them, like, hey, join a club, join a group?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's such a great parenting tip. Sometimes, like, if your kid is struggling with X, Y, or Z, like, you want to help them find their group or their people before they find their best friend. It's like, hey, I don't know anybody. I don't want to go to Boy Scouts. I don't know anybody. I don't want to go to church. I don't know anybody. I don't want to go to the science club. Well, those are your people. So you have to put yourself in that group, and then you'll find your person amongst the people. Does that sound like good advice? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it sounds like great advice, and especially if it's one of those groups that has like different grade levels in that group, because then you'll get to know the older kids, and they can watch out for you. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, please continue.
And man, I think that I don't know. I think the root cause of my fear was I just had really low self-esteem. I didn't feel good about myself.
And they could beat you up, like, obviously.
They sure could.
Like, they're stronger. They're
all right,
popular.
so here's number 2, don't. Oh, this is big. This is big. This is definitely happening in 2025. Do not, my fellow parent, do not project your school trauma onto them. Your child is not you.
Okay.
What you went through does not mean they're going to go through it. You don't need to get them prepared for all 50 scenarios that they might face today. Be aware of how your own emotional luggage is happening in your mind and your fears, and avoid transferring it to them. Like, this could be a joyous, positive time. You don't need to scare your kid because of the crap that happened to you. Don't you think that's kind of good advice?
I do. The hard part, though, for me, and maybe for a lot of us, is like sometimes I can be an open book. And sometimes Danny will have to look at me and be like, like, she knows what I'm going to say. Don't need to say that right now. So the hardest part for us, maybe parents, is literally close your mouth and breathe. And just not silence, but let your kid just go through it instead of like, well, when I was a kid, this is what I think there's some wisdom in that, but it can be hard.
Really good. Well said. Closing your mouth and not over-parenting. Number 2, do is something I'm really big in. This is a really good time to establish your routines, establish your expectations, and the best way to do this is through family meetings. Have
How
meetings
often?
with the kids individually, Well, if you have a large family, it'd be so good to rally everybody, once or twice before school starts. Be like, hey, just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I need you guys to do this. I need you to do this.
Okay.
And if you do have a child who struggles with morning rituals or struggling with grades, I'll give you some tips for that in a second. But it's like expectations. Like, this is how we're going to do it. And this is what I need from you guys. And I don't want to argue about it. And I need us to do better than we did last year. Like, push your kids to meet those expectations.
I remember when I was in, it must have been middle school. I had a carpool, right? It was me, my buddy JP, Lucia, one other kid. Gosh, I can't remember where the other kid is. Doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to get to is I kind of knew these kids before going to class, and I rode with them. So it actually helped me showing up to class with a little posse. Even though we weren't like close friends, at least I'm walking with other people. Yeah. Right? So if you're not a bus taker, they call it car rider now. But if you could I'm trying to think of if my kids were nervous going to, now it's going to be middle school, sixth grade, their first time. My job right now is to try and find them maybe a buddy to figure out if they can show up at the same time. So they show up at the same time.
Really good tip. Gosh, that's a great tip. You'd have to wake up super early for this. Maybe wake up the kids an hour and a half early and all go out to breakfast together, or even just a little Starbucks run.
That'd
get
be
a little,
cool.
Little egg sandwich, right?
Yeah. In fact, continuing on that conversation, do you have any wisdom on when we're getting into the school routine, how early we should start the process of waking up on time, on early? You got a week left of last summer break, but I need you guys to get on a schedule.
2 points. One is in your family meeting, decide as a group, this is what time we're waking at. If you have a slow person in your house, you got to wake them up even earlier.
Yeah.
And then here's the key to all this. The key is whether you have a 6-year-old or a 16-year-old. Remember, it's never about what it's about. It's not about so many things. Your kid being ready on time for school is really about trust. I need to be able to trust you, that you're doing what you need to do, and I don't need to micromanage you or hold your hand or wipe your butt. You got to take care of your own biz. Does that... and so it's like,
it's true.
So then you're like, well, Sean, I can't trust my kid. My kid is doing this.
Yeah.
My kid is doing that. Well, then you need a different, you need a different tool set for that, a different podcast episode, or join me in my membership, and I'll show you how to get your kids to be extremely trustworthy on every topic.
That's good. That's great advice. Thank you.
Thanks for, that's good that you brought that up, because that's that morning routine just feels so crappy when it's not going well. It's the last thing you want is to have
so chaotic.
Arguing, yelling.
Right?
Get
your clothes on. Did you brush your teeth? You didn't have eat breakfast? What you been up since? Yeah, I know, man. It can be, should be
Your
relaxing.
kids are 10 now. Your twins are 10. Do you feel like you have a pretty good high level of trust for them? Like you can trust them to, eat their breakfast and, age-appropriate trust.
On certain things, right? And then there's other things that'll happen. They'll slip through the cracks if we don't prompt or remind, right? And that's just our job as parents to continue to mold that specific person to be better at, one kid is better at waking up on time or setting the alarm, getting in the shower. The other, it takes some nudging. So we know their strengths and their weaknesses, and we have to parent accordingly.
Do you allow any screen time before school?
Oh, in the morning? Well, I'm not here because I'm at work. So, I'm trying to think. I believe television only, no small screen. So, I would normally say cartoons. Like when I was a kid, you'd watch cartoons. Nowadays, kids don't watch cartoons. They'll watch YouTube shorts. But if we're doing no tech, it's no YouTube. It's watch something on linear television, right? Yeah. Go to an actual channel and see what's on. Okay. So it's get breakfast ready, but I think more often than not, no, there is no tech time.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you ready for the next? Number 3 is kind of connected to number 1. If the biggest don't say this is not a big deal. A great do would be just to normalize the nervousness and normalize the intensity and just say look, it's totally normal for you to be nervous. It's totally normal to be feeling these things. You're brand yourself as your kid's emotion coach. I didn't have anybody doing this for me growing up, and it just would be you're really teaching them so much about a great subject here themselves by doing that skill.
You know what's different too, from a parent's perspective, is like when we were in school, they wouldn't be able to know how we're doing until we got home. But now with cell phones, I don't know what it's like now, but it's like, are there parents out there that are getting texts from their worried kid every hour? Oh my gosh, this happened. Oh, this one bullied me. This one said this. What should I do? I think for me as a parent, if that was happening, I'd get so anxious all day. That'd be tough.
It is tough, and that parent is not on this podcast with us right now, but some of the best decisions you can do for a kid like that is to remove the cell phone and remove the Apple Watch, because it's just not good for that child or for you to be talking to each other all day. That's just an over-enmeshment and it's just not healthy, except it just takes a lot of strength and courage for the parent to break that communication off, because they feel they might be in a codependent relationship with that kid, or they feel like they have to be there. Oh my gosh, my kid needs me. But that's just not the way that it really works. I don't agree. Your kid can thrive out of school by themselves and should. And
I think that's very wise.
Conversation.
Separation is important. It makes so much sense. And I think just the digital age we're in nowadays, I can tell from us, from a parent perspective, it's hard. Obviously, it's hard for kids. We get it. It was hard for us. Yeah. Those listening, most likely we've got parents listening. It's got to be hard for parents, too, in this digital age. But I think what you said is so key. If you can separate, it actually makes the bond stronger.
Number 3, don't. And you would think maybe somebody who just thinks about parenting 24/7 would really be pushing a lot of sports and a lot of activities, because I think they're so good. Research has shown that activities, sports, builds grit in our kids. But whenever we talk about activities, I normally say things like this, and this is number 3, don't, for back to school, is do not overload your kids' calendar, because having too many activities, especially during the emotional intensity of back to school, is just not good for your kid or your teenager. Your teenager might want to come home from high school and just literally conk out and just be so untalkative. And why? Pretty normal, because that's just so emotionally exhaustive for them to go at this school. Now, am I excusing their quietness? No. Should they be talking to their family every day? Yes. Should they be doing chores every day? Yes. Should they be coming to the dinner table on time and talking to their family every day? Yes. Should they have a good attitude with their family? Yes. And should they still be active in activities? Of course. But I think there's wisdom in beware to not overload their calendar.
Yeah. And to be flexible is what I'm hearing. Like, there are some days when I could tell that my kids need to lay on the couch and zone out for a little bit. And maybe that means they miss a practice, or that they don't go to this after school thing, because I know that this is more important for them. So you have to be flexible.
That is seriously incredible parenting advice what you just said. People don't talk about that. I think we just want to sit. Yes, your kid is like signed up for a sport, or you're paying for a sport. But what Jordan just said, Jordan, that was incredible. Yes, do not be that type of parent where you feel like you have this commitment to a team over family, or your kid's mental health has to crash for them to be committed to their, 12-year-old soccer team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like a snowball effect. If I push this now and it's a Wednesday, I'm already going to tell them my weekend is going to be screwed, because they're going to be even more exhausted. They're going to have that much more to. It's going to make me upset. But if I just take a break midweek right now, then maybe they can reset for the end of the week.
Imagine you're a parent and you grew up playing water polo in the fall, and you swam all during summer. And so here you are, your 11-year-old has been following your footsteps, playing the water sports just like you, and you love it. It's like a little mini-me. And then all of a sudden, they just turned 12. And you notice some things are changing. Their attitude is changing. They're more cranky. They're less interested in the sport. They're more resistant. And so what are you going to do in that situation, everyone? You're going to parent the child you want, or you're going to parent the child you have. The reality is that there's many kids, they just cannot keep up with their parents' goals or intentions for them. They're just not built that way. They need more downtime and free time and less time on screens and less activities, and they're more free spirit kids versus the kids that these parents are trying to mold them into.
Yeah, and I understand, like, we know all you parents can, you know your kids better than anybody. Maybe you do have that kid that's like, no, I see they're so much better if I push them and I keep them on the schedule. Okay, that's great. Every kid's gonna be different. Like Sean says, parent the kid you have, not the kid you want. In fact, dude, my wife just told me that the other day. I can't remember the topic, but I was saying something. She goes, I just don't know why, so-and-so kid doesn't do this. She goes, Jordan, you got to parent the kid you have and not the kid you want. I'm like, gosh, dang it. Yes. Thank you, Sean Donahue, Jr., Senior.
Yeah.
It's
That
so
is
true, though.
something we all have to remind ourselves of. Okay, next do. Of all the do's and don'ts, I think this is the most juicy, and this is a really important one. Okay, so here we are, getting back to school. What are you thinking about? What are you going to focus on? Remember, as a parent, you want to focus on connection over control. I know that's hard for some of you because you want to control what your kid is eating, who they're sitting with, how hard they're pushing themselves. You might want to say things, tempted to say things like, hey, you better not fall behind. You better be talking to your teachers. You better be doing this no matter what. You better this happen. Instead, I have a couple more words on this, but does that kind of make sense? Just realize, like, you are their person. Focus on connection over control.
It's interesting. If you look at the psychology of that, I bet we focus on control so that we can connect. But the reality is you're like, no, dude, you got to flip the script.
That's deep.
You're controlling them
That is
because you're
so
trying to connect
deep.
with them. Yeah, but really you need to not let go of the control because you can connect with them without any of the control.
I'm not sure. That was so deep, I'm not sure I understand what it means, but I think I do. Is it kind of like this? Let's go back to the water polo parent. Let's say, clearly, if you love water sports, you bond with your kids when they're playing your own sport that you enjoy.
Right. And if they're
So then you
successful at
think-
it, I can talk
Right.
to them about how
Right.
much joy it brought me watching how awesome
Right.
they played.
So I think what you're saying is so deep. Is like the controlling parent would be like, you need to stay in water polo. It's good for you. This is what you do.
Yeah.
You're not just going to sit around and play screens. You need to be exercising. But there's ego in that because you're actually coming from a selfish place because it helps you to be a happier, more connected parent when they're doing something that you want them to do.
Totally. Like
Is that
right
what you're
now,
saying?
that's what I'm saying. Like right now,
That
I
is
have
so
this
deep,
vision.
dude.
I have this
Oh my
vision
gosh.
of like wanting to take my kids. And I was just talking to Sean off podcast about it. I was like, man, I have this I want to go on this salmon fishing trip, but it's like a full day. I'm like, because I'm going to connect with them. They're going to be like, oh, fishing's awesome. We're catching these fish. And they're going to know why I do what I do. And the reality is they're going to hate their lives. But I'm like here trying to force it down their throat so that I can connect with them when the reality is,
'cause it's
no,
about
all
you.
we got to do is go play at the beach and can connect, and you don't have to do what I want to do.
One of my members, she lives near Reno. She sent me a picture of her and her 15-year-old son. She took him to a 2-day rap festival.
What?
And in the sun, he was rocking out to hardcore rap, her and him, for 2 days.
Okay.
Do you
All
think
right.
this mother likes hardcore rap or festivals in the heat for 2 days?
Well, yeah, I was wondering that when you said the story.
She
Was
does
this
not.
on her
She
behalf
does not.
or was this on his behalf? Okay.
She does not. She does not.
Right.
But she did it because it's not about her. It's like, this is
Right.
my son's world. It's not my world. But I want to be with him in his world. It's not about me. And so we're going to bond doing things that he enjoys doing. What an amazing mom story. She could have just
Yeah.
said, no, you're not going to that. They're going to be druggies
Right.
there.
Who
We're
likes
not gonna
that
listen
stuff?
to that
Really?
music.
That's what you
That's
want to spend your
trash."
time doing?
Right.
Yes.
She's just, she's parenting the
I'll
child
I'll
she
take you
has.
to a Bruce Springsteen concert all day long.
Oh my God. So, and here's the thing about connection over control. Let's say you have a challenging child. A child that's really struggled with screens, waking up, morning routines, being focused, being accountable. Well, then when you talk about your expectations and you talk about it in a connected way, when you talk about consequences, talk about it in a connected way. Here's a couple examples. Say, hey, so here's what we're thinking, guys. We need you up in the car at 7:55 a.m. at the latest. At the latest.
Okay.
And if we need to wake you up earlier, we will. So can we trust you that you'll be in the car, you'll be showered,
teeth brushed.
tooth, food, backpacks. All right. Okay, good. Okay, so now we need to make a plan in case you're not there at 8:55. Because I just can't. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to nag you. I don't want to give you consequences. But I'm your teacher, and this meeting right here, and how we function as a family is part of how you're growing. It's not just school where you grow. So I'd like us to make a plan of what's gonna happen if you don't keep your word, you don't meet these expectations. And let's talk about it now so that if it happens, there's no hard feelings, there's no stress. See what we did here? We're talking about discipline in a really loving, kind, like preventative way versus a reactive way. That is a really good parenting tip I just gave y'all if you have a challenging kid.
It is great, but I'm gonna push you to answer this, which I don't think you're gonna answer it. But what would be a comfortable kind of initiation punishment? Like starting off small. You don't even have to say what it is, but we start off maybe small, and then if it continues happening, it gets bigger and bigger with the agreement.
So let's try to think of it like a natural consequence would be like, okay, so honey, if you're not ready at 8:55, it means I'll be waking you up at 7:30, or I'm sorry, I'll be waking you up 30 minutes earlier.
Okay.
No, Mom, don't wake me up. Well, I need to wake you up. Okay, and if it continues to happen, then all these things in your life that are a distraction, we might have to take them away. So, let's say you do give them access to screens before school, which I hope nobody does. So then you say, we're going to take that away. Or look, you have to earn your after-school activities. So if you are not ready, if we can't trust you to be on time, to be in the car at 7:55 a.m., well, then you will not be going to your activity that you want to go to later that day because you have not earned it. Your job is to be in that car at 7:55, and we need to count on you to do that. And of course, we're just trying to think about natural consequences that match up. Did that answer your question? Was that helpful?
Yeah, very healthy. Much better than mine. Mine was, listen, you have to wake up and be in the shower at this time, and you have a warm shower. If not, I'm turning off the hot water and you get cold showers. So you better be in there when the shower's warm, or else it's going cold on you. No, that's good.
I can tell you numerous stories about parents who say, if you're, hey, we've given you 5 chances, but if it happens again, if you're not in the car at 7:55, we're driving away, and you're gonna have to walk to school or take a bike. But Dad, that's a 2-hour walk.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Well then I'm not going to school. All right. Well then you will be truant, and if you refuse to go to school, well then there'll be major consequences. I just can't have a kid not going to school. And then what happens is that kid will walk or take their bike, and they'll do a 2-hour walk or hour and a half bike ride, whatever it takes, and it probably won't happen again because that's the natural consequences. Now, does it sound weird or extreme? Of course. Are you going to do this to your 7-year-old? No. But it's just one of a gazillion examples. You get the gist of it.
I get the gist. Yeah. No, if I wasn't there on time for my carpool when that car came, they had to take the rest of the kids to school. I'd have to figure out another way. So I get that.
Yeah, because what happens is, like, if your kid's supposed to be on the bus and they miss the bus, well, then the parent takes them to school. So then why would the kid care about making the bus? Because they just have a backup plan, right? Mm-hmm. So there needs to be an intense consequence for them missing the freaking bus, because that's what happens in the real world. Right. If you miss a bus, bad things happen to you. That's welcome to life.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Thank you for sharing some of the examples, because I know some people get curious about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, getting specific examples. So here we are. We're almost done with our list here. So this actually ties in to what we were just talking about. If one of the don'ts is to do so much controlling, one of the do's is, build independence in your kid this school year. Think about what new chores can you give that child. That's a great What new expectations? Goal. What bigger, instead of doing this chore, now you get to do this chore and this chore. And I used to make your breakfast for you. I used to make your lunch for you. And now, starting now, you'll make your own lunch. Yeah. Or I used to put your stuff away for you. I used to do these things, but now I'm not doing them anymore. But why, Mom? Why? You're a stay-at-home mom. That's your job. Right? What are you going to do? Are you building independent, like, gritty kids, or are you building kids who expect you to be a butler and a DoorDasher every day?
Right. The other day, I was having a conversation with our kids. I was like, hey, guys, so we're going to start teaching how to do laundry. And they're like, why? Mom does laundry. I'm like, because, and I got super nerdy. It's like, well, kids, because the studies show that kids at your age should learn how to do laundry and be independent. It's better for your well-being. And they're like, no, it doesn't. They're like, studies don't show that. I'm like, yeah. They're like, then look it up. Why don't you look it up? I'm like, okay, let's look it up right now. Should a 10/11-year-old learn how to do laundry? Boop. Yes, studies show kids at this age should do. I'm like, booyaka. And they're like, ugh. They just walked off. So that's my goal. I got to teach them how to do that.
Love it, man. Bringing that toughness, that resilience, that back-to-school transitions. You're older now. It's time for you to get more expectations, more stuff on your own. That's a great story, man.
That's good. I like that one, too.
That's a great story. So, yeah, that's the theme of it. So, yeah, this is why, whenever I hear a parent say, yeah, my kid doesn't have many chores, or their number one job is just their schoolwork, and, go to Qumran Learning Center, and their soccer, that's their job. I just want to poke you right now and say, wake up. That's not your kid's job. There's so much deeper things for you to teach your kids when it comes to their character and their own development. Let's wrap it up here.
It's one-sided.
Let's wrap it up
that way. Okay.
All right, last number 5. The number 5 is connected. Back to school, do's and don'ts. I think this one, and for all you teachers out there, you're going to love this. Do not see their teacher as your child's parent. Do this instead. See their teacher or their teachers as your teammate, as your child's leader and authority, and it's not your teacher's responsibility to be your child's parent. You are the parent.
So we had a situation this year where my kids were like, gosh, my teacher hates me. She just always picks on me, always gives me this much work, always says I'm not paying attention. When I'm trying to get other people to pay attention, and she just catches me when I'm trying to get them to pay attention too. Right. And so we had to figure out a way to give our kids that thought process. Like, hey, your teacher does not hate you. Yes, she does. But yet I can see what the teacher is doing, and it's creating this awesome individual. Manners, make sure you say full sentences, things that like kids think they're getting picked on. And so it's awesome for me to know I have this, other figure that's a good parental figure, but also a good, someone to teach my kids. And so it's been interesting to try to share what I see with my kids who don't see it at all because they're in it like, you just don't understand, Dad. You don't understand how she picks on me in class. Right? But I mean, I remember having that teacher, the one who picked on me, who gave me a bad grade, who was always like, I see it now as an adult trying to mold me. But at that time, I thought it was just like the teacher hated me.
Love it, dude. Great wisdom. There was that president that got assassinated in the 60s. Was it JFK? JFK, right?
Yes. Yes.
JFK.
There was multiple presidents who got it. Yeah, but in the 60s it was JFK.
Well, yeah, like the CIA killed him. We just found out, right? So he had a very famous saying. Help remind me of this saying. Didn't it go something like this? Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country.
Yes.
I think he said that.
Exactly right. He did. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Famous line, John F. Kennedy, inaugural address, January 20th, 1961.
So, okay. I love that saying. I wish more politicians talk like this. Do you like that saying? Or is it just as much as I do?
Yeah, because it makes us, again, turn the arrow around. Too many people are saying, why not me? Why isn't the government taking care of this person? Or why isn't the rich taking care of the poor? Why doesn't this company give more? Why doesn't they make all these billions? Why aren't they paying their fair share of taxes? And all you're doing is pointing outward when the reality is, well, what can I do to help these people? Why am I always looking for other people to help them?
So when you look at your kids' teachers, their youth group leaders, their coaches, this is really great advice. This is what we do on this podcast. I want to challenge you. Say this to yourself. Ask not what these people can do for me, but ask instead, what can I do for them? These people are in the trenches with our children. These are heroes. These are life changers. As parents, we need to love these people and support them and say, like, we are here to serve you, help you to do your job. We need to be their cheerleaders.
I like that. Yeah, because once, what's interesting too, I've just seen this in. I mean, my kids are only in elementary school, but I still there, and I'll probably see it as they get older if I have a relationship with the teachers. But as soon as you show these teachers that you're not a threat and you're gonna help,
Right.
their
Yes.
attitude changes dramatically.
Yeah.
It
Well
really
said,
does.
because a
And
lot of them, there's
that's
so
with
many
everybody.
so many lame parents out there that are like pushing teachers like out of work. The teacher
know.
will say, "I'm not quitting because of the kids. I love
Right.
kids. And I'm
Right.
quitting because of all the BS from these parents and all this admin." So
Same
like
with
we need to
coaches.
support.
Coaches are doing the same thing.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to be the cool, loving, normal parents that our teachers, our coaches need. Hey guys, back to school is an important time, and we only have like certain amount of back to school in our lives.
so
So enjoy your
true.
back to school. Take your beginning, first day of school pictures. Be the best, loving, kind, rock-based, supportive parent you can be. Thanks for letting Jordan and I
Amen.
be a positive support in your life. Much love, everyone. Have a great school year.